Deep beneath Fiji's turquoise waters, someone imagined building a hotel room unlike anything on Earth.
But this room would not stand on a beach, surrounded by ordinary resorts and swimming pools.
Instead, the guest would sleep beneath the surface, surrounded completely by the Pacific Ocean. And reaching that bedroom would require something most hotel guests never expect: a submarine. This was not simply a strange hotel concept. It was an extraordinary engineering challenge. The room had to survive underwater while remaining comfortable enough for a luxury hotel guest. Beneath the waves, the engineering challenge is immense, requiring robust materials and flawless seals to withstand the deep water pressure.
And that meant solving problems normally faced by submarines, not hotels.
The deeper the room went, the more demanding every part of the structure became. Fiji was an unusual place to attempt something this ambitious, but its location offered major advantages. Welcome to the vibrant heart of the Fijian reef, a world of color and motion where every creature, from the tiniest... For a luxury resort, the underwater world itself could become part of the guest experience. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of the deep, where luxury meets the breathtaking biodiversity of the Fiji reef. That combination of isolation and spectacle could turn the room itself into the destination. The beauty of the Fijian reef belies the immense engineering required just meters below. The site needed calm enough waters, reliable access, suitable depth, and protection from extreme weather.
Engineers therefore had to think about the ocean as both attraction and threat.
Every decision about the location could determine whether the experience became unforgettable or dangerously complicated. And that was only the beginning, because someone still had to put the room underwater. The underwater room was designed around one simple idea: bring the ocean directly into the bedroom. Instead of paintings on the walls, guests would have a living reef outside their window.
The room would feel less like a hotel, and more like a private underwater observation station.
Every part of the interior had to balance luxury, space, visibility, and practical underwater engineering.
There could be no weak point hidden behind the luxury. The pressure-resistant shell became the invisible boundary between luxury and the ocean outside. From outside, the structure looked small. Inside, every centimeter had a carefully planned purpose.
Even the furniture had to work differently inside a room surrounded by seawater.
The design had to feel luxurious without wasting valuable space or adding unnecessary weight. Because underwater, even a beautiful room becomes useless if the basic systems fail.
But before guests could enter the room, they first had to leave the surface behind.
In the bosons. As we leave the vibrant shallows of the coast, the submersible descends into the profound azure. As we descend deeper into the Fijian abyss, the sunlight begins to fade, revealing the true colors of the deep ocean. The submarine itself became part of the experience, not merely transportation to the hotel. As the vessel approached the hotel, the ocean outside slowly revealed what guests had come to see. The hotel appeared ahead like a sealed capsule, resting quietly on the ocean floor. Its entrance was designed specifically for the submarine, creating a controlled transition between ocean and hotel. The The massive bolts of the mechanical locking system slide into place, securing the submersible. As the pressure gauges confirm,
The integrity of the habitat relies entirely on these reinforced seals and the synchronized engagement of the locking bolts.
once secured, the submarine became the doorway into a completely different kind of hotel.
Inside the transfer chamber, guests would wait while the connection between submarine and room was secured. The first step inside would feel like entering another world without ever leaving Fiji. Far from the distractions of the surface, guests here find themselves immersed in the silent, vibrant life of the coral reef. Instead, the entire world outside was water, reef, darkness, and marine life. For the guest, the strange journey would finally become part of the luxury itself. But reaching the room was only half the problem. Keeping it alive underwater was another.
Hinge Neists. Deep below the surface, this sophisticated life support system continuously monitors and filters the air,
And that meant electricity, oxygen, cooling, communications, and emergency systems could never be treated as optional. Creating the room was one challenge. Actually placing a finished structure underwater was another. The structure could not simply be dropped into the sea and expected to land correctly. Engineers needed precise control over weight, buoyancy, cables, currents, and the final position. Even a small positioning mistake could make the final connection far more difficult. The seabed itself had to provide a stable foundation strong enough to hold everything securely. Securing the habitat required unprecedented precision. These heavy-duty anchor assemblies are designed to bind the structure permanently to the volcanic rock below. These massive anchor bolts are crucial, transferring the structural loads deep into the stable rock, ensuring the long-term stability of the habitat.
Here we see the marine technicians finalizing the crucial connection points. Utilizing specialized torque tools,
Every connection needed waterproof protection because one failure could compromise the entire room.
Here we see the culmination of the project. The structure is secure, the utility connections sealed, and the final inspection is underway.
Once underwater, pressure became the invisible force trying to crush everything inside. The deeper the room sat, the greater the pressure acting against every surface became.
That is why the walls could never be treated like ordinary hotel walls.
This colossal structure, weighing thousands of tons, represents the future of marine architecture.
windows created an even harder problem because guests wanted the ocean visible.
The simulated pressure test confirms the structural integrity of the massive window, ensuring a safe view of the vibrant Fijian ecosystem. A tiny flaw in a pressure seal could become a serious problem very quickly.
Engineers therefore tested critical components repeatedly before trusting them beneath the sea.
The final room had to be strong enough for the ocean, but invisible to the guest. Fresh air had to circulate quietly, without making the luxury room feel like a machine.
Maintaining a steady 22 degrees Celsius requires a sophisticated HVAC system, seamlessly integrated into the hull against the cold deep.
Communication systems also had to connect the isolated room with the world above.
If something went wrong, guests needed a way to call for help immediately.
The engineers verify the ventilation and communication systems. The successful completion of the drill ensures the safety of
The real luxury was not the bed or the view.
It was knowing the systems were reliable.
But the feature guests would remember most was almost certainly the enormous underwater window. Instead of looking through a small porthole, guests could see an entire underwater landscape. During daylight, sunlight would pour through the water and illuminate the reef outside. As night falls, the deep Pacific currents guide a new ecosystem past the reinforced glass, illuminated only by the distant moon.
The view could change by the hour as different fish and marine creatures passed outside.
The room could become a private theater where the ocean provided every scene. As the school passes, a magnificent hawksbill sea turtle emerges from the blue, a rare and graceful sight in this underwater sanctuary. That unpredictability was part of what made sleeping beneath the sea so unusual.
Every glance outside could reveal something guests never expected to see.
But sleeping underwater was only part of the experience. Guests would actually live beneath the surface.
Here, suspended between worlds, the passage of time is marked only by the shifting currents and the dance of light.
Even ordinary moments could become memorable when the ocean was always present.
Here, beneath the waves, time slows. The vibrant life of the reef continues.
A sophisticated network of ventilation, power, and life support systems work in perfect synchronization. And that raised the next major question. What happens when the ocean becomes unpredictable? The Pacific can be calm one moment and completely different the next. Storms, strong currents, and changing sea conditions all had to be considered before installation. The location therefore mattered just as much as the hotel itself.
Engineers needed enough depth for privacy, but not so much that access became impractical.
The submarine route itself had to remain navigable even when visibility or currents changed. That meant the entire journey needed careful navigation, monitoring, and backup procedures.
The hotel itself also needed protection from the forces constantly moving around it.
Ensuring the long-term viability of the structure means focusing on these vulnerable exterior points, like the main power conduits and the critical anchor bolts. Because underwater, even a small maintenance problem can become a major operation.
The underwater hotel could not simply be forgotten after construction was finished.
Engineers would need regular inspections beneath the surface, often working in difficult conditions. Salt water is relentless, constantly attacking metal, seals, cables, and mechanical components.
Some equipment could be serviced from inside, while other systems required divers or submarines.
That made access design just as important as the original construction itself.
If a technician could not reach a component, even a perfect system could become useless. So the hotel was engineered not just for guests, but for the people maintaining it.
Preventive maintenance is crucial here. The team quickly identified and replaced a worn seal, securing the cable connection for the foreseeable future. Because the most impressive underwater technology is often the technology nobody notices. After all the engineering, the strange journey finally leads to one simple experience: sleeping beneath the ocean. A place where the ocean is no longer something you visit, but something surrounding you. Every system, every cable, every calculation was made to bring this vision to life, allowing us to witness the ocean's true majesty. It takes an environment that feels impossible and turns it into somewhere people can actually stay.
Here, miles beneath the waves, we find not conquest, but coexistence.
From the surface, it might look like nothing more than another tropical resort.
But beneath those calm waters sits one of the strangest hotel rooms ever conceived.